Welcome back to the channel, folks. My name is Joel Duggan, and I am having trouble with my Stream Deck. I don't know why the buttons are not working. I can't seem to get it to respond, and that's not good. That's not good at all. It's going to make switching scenes tricky. And I don't know what's up. We are in Satisfactory today. We are going to pick up where we left off last time, here in the aluminum section of the factory. And in order to continue, we need to get the water flowing down here into these refineries. I think I might still have global illumination on. No, I don't. Okay. Go with maybe medium on shadow quality. So we need to figure out a design for these guys. I was getting there last time, and I think we got a raid, and I got distracted. So we were sort of looking at something like this. Obviously, it would be a different color. And it would be a little bit farther forward. That may be what we do. Still not a fan of these little metal bits sticking out. So maybe we have to bring this farther forward. That looks okay. We just have to figure out what to do with this stuff here at the bottom. I'd even be okay with that sort of showing up, you know? We had another one back here. I don't know whether that would be like a full block. Have to remove these ones, figure it out. This also potentially has a block there too. Okay, so they don't quite touch, so that's good to know. Got some lurk bits from MindTripMedia. Thanks very much. I was in the other room getting a cup of coffee. MindTripMedia, thank you ever so much for both lurking and watching the stream and the 100 bits. Appreciate the support. Right, so we are going to need that to be there. I think I might try to change that green highlight color. Maybe we make it paler. And a bit brighter. Might be easier to see through. A little bit. A little bit. If we knock these all the way back, these would have to be flipped around to match. Ah, but they don't line up. Where did I line these ones up? I line these ones up between the machines. So I do the same thing here. Where's the machine? That's the middle there. Yeah, that's the middle there. I think it was that far back. Yep. So then this, we'd switch to line up with this. Right, so then those are visible. But then we just have to deal with the ladders, because this takes care of this top part here. We would do the same thing. Switch this around, but then bring it forward to there. And then this would be based off of this side. Right, and then this would not be there. Not that this would be visible anyway. Unless I want to put the seam in the middle, maybe? Here we left it open. Go grab another light. That's right in the middle. And is that on the right height? So it's 1, 2, in between 3 and 4. Should work out 1, 2, and in between 3 and 4 right there. Tubbo and Ranbo fan, welcome in. Hope I'm saying your name right. Copy those. Paste that there. So this isn't recessed. This actually has like a part that sticks out. Get rid of that for now. Get rid of this for now. I think that looks okay. Looks like these pipes are then going into the wall. I don't think I'd want it any farther back. I like that that's centered there. That. The only thing I'll try on this set is I'll try to flip these around and see if they work better a different way. All right, let's try that over here. I think that's about where it went. No, it just sort of clips it. It's a little confusing because you've got half meter increments. I didn't realize you had half meter increments with it. So just about through there. That looks right. Oh, these weren't the ones I wanted to do anyway. It was those ones. Never mind. Alright, well, we'll get this up to this height anyway. So if that was the case, they would end up overlapping. If I wanted to do it this way. The only thing I'm thinking about is just the seams here and seeing how the seams look. It might not matter because of these pipes. It's going to throw off that center vibe anyway. I was also thinking that the pipes could come down here. So we could have the pipes actually run behind everything. Someone mentioned that, I think, the other day. So I could actually line the pipe up here. Or I could put it between those two things, too. And then if we did something fancy with these, with those beams, then maybe that would make it look like it's encased in something. Oh, you still see the ladder. Try that again. Oh, yes. Guess we'll have to have a different shape. Thanks for the sub on YouTube. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's only 2 more subscribers, or maybe even 1 more subscriber now on the VODs channel to get 1,000 subs, which means that I will be able to get some advertising revenue. So we still end up with that little black piece. Unless I bring it forward as well. And I don't know that I like that. And we still get that little black piece. Can't be nudged. That was weird. That comes up flush. Well, that was close. That doesn't look too bad. I mean, I've screwed up the pipe placement here. Might be better to have this be right in the middle. I think that's straight. Yeah, and then if we actually wanted to add a visual thing like that, and then change it. This little thing is always off a little bit. They're never rotated quite the way that you want them to be. I wish you could change that, but that's not bad. The only thing that looks a little bit strange is this beginning part here. And we could do another pillar. Which looks pretty good. Or I could use this on the end as an opportunity to make a beam and just use the beam to hide the thing. That's a little bit bright. I mean, we can change the color, I guess, but I think I prefer the metal. Whoops. I spent about a half an hour before stream trying to locate the screenshots, and I don't actually get screenshots in Satisfactory. Like they do not show up in any folder. The folder just doesn't exist. I have to take like Windows screen grabs to get screenshots of the game. Tubbo, thanks very much. That's very kind of you. 1, 2, 3. So if we do 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was wrong. Just out of curiosity, I wonder if the metal looks better than the concrete. Concrete is something we can paint if we want to. That's a possibility. Apparently you can make concrete really white. I saw this tip on YouTube. So if I change this and I say, if I want to make this white, right? Make both of these white. And if I choose that and make that white, it's not actually white. But if you go into the customizer and edit this to something higher, like 1,000, then it works. That's not even, there's no way that the game actually tells you that you could do that. Because previously with Megatron in the power facility design, I had trouble with all of these plastic coated. So like, for example, this, like that's dark gray and black. Like they're virtually, you know, they're virtually identical. You can't tell the difference, right? However, if we go and again change this and change it to this is like three zeros. If I go negative 1,000, then it's like more than the negative value. And then now Oh, maybe it doesn't work with black. Oh, it's not the coated one. It's the, but like, that's the one that I just did. And this is black native in the game. And that's like real black. So if you want some real dark stuff, and you can see actually there is a difference there, right? So that's the deep black, and then this is the game black. Right? You actually can get black, which is really cool, which means that you can get primary colors, because you couldn't do that before. So if I wanted to change this to like red, then I could change this and just choose the color that I want. I don't know, let's do green. Just because it's a, or I could load the Devastator green, right? And then make this 100 or 1,000. Oh, maybe it's only black and white. Maybe it doesn't work with colors. We'll find out here in a second. No, that's still white. How do I saw them do it with like proper colors though. Maybe that has to be 100. And then if we take this to 1,000. Yeah, look at that. Like that's fire engine red. But if I did that on a normal red, that's what the game gives us. So you can actually do bright, bright colors. Which is cool because it means that I can change this. If I wanted this to be, if I wanted these pillars to be white instead of metal, then we could make them out of concrete and then just paint them a certain color. I'm not sure. I kind of like the metal right now. Be very easy to change if we need to. But I like the idea of the pipe coming down here if this works logistically down here, which it may not. So if I grab a pipe here, does that go? Let this go to there. Why is that going all over the place? Where is it pulling from? I don't want it to go there. I want it to grab from the bottom. So weirdly, it's not letting me connect to this pipe. It's trying to connect to the top of it. So I don't understand what's going on there. Well, that's the right side. Oh my gosh, that actually works. That's wonky, but it actually works. I'm all right with that because that's going to be under the floor. what I should do is change my pipe color. Man, that was lucky. That even looks pretty good. Not that we're going to see it, but it looks pretty good. Only problem now is that you have 3 machines and only 2 spaces between them. Oh, yeah. Well, we could just fake the other one. Right? Like, we could hide the 3rd pipe somewhere. Or, you know what? This is a 600 pipe across the top, and it needs to be split 3 ways. So we can split it once, and then we can put the second one down here. Oops. And then just split it at the bottom. Oh, that won't work because that's going to be in the way. I mean, in the way, sort of. I mean, that's... if I'm going to hide all of this. That might be what I do. Although that might not work as far as the actual... I think that's where it is. That looks right. It's just a matter of fitting this together. No, so that doesn't work. Yeah, we'd have to figure out how to split that. Or I could just bring it down inside the wall here. Like the 3rd one could just be completely hidden and not worried about it. Or I could bring it down over here maybe. Maybe we end up with something interesting like that on the end. That could be kind of fun. Wish there were a 3-way connector to the pipes. What do you mean a 3-way connector? That's what the splitter is. This is a 3-way connector. Or do you mean something else? And I mean, if this came down over here, this is no problem at all. We could route this way. Oh, autosave. So you don't have the 4th bit sticking out. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes. Yeah, visually. Yeah, like a T instead of a plus sign. I know what you mean now. Yeah. Right, so I mean, like, we could do something like that. And that would make these walls less plain. A little, I'm not opposed to a little asymmetry. That's okay. Alternatively, the only other way to do it, I mean, we could run it down in the middle of this thing and hide it entirely. I'm not entirely opposed to that. I try not to do it just because I do find it, I don't want to say it's cheaty, but it feels a little bit strange. But you think about all the technology we have in this game, you'd think that we'd be able to run pipes straight through walls and build concrete around pipes, right? Like, you don't always have to have it be a separate thing. If there was a way to split it, the only other thing I can think of would be to run the pipe either under the floor, right? Like, we could split it vertically. I feel like there'd be enough water pressure if we sent it down below and then split it down there and then brought it up. In both cases, that would also be possible. So if I went down to here, grabbed a splitter, that's in line there. But if I put that over here, if I did a floor hole there and a floor hole here, I think this will work visually. I just don't know if it's going to work from a water mechanics standpoint. Now, why is that not working? Right, and then from here, this should be pretty straightforward. Right, I mean, it's not the prettiest, but gets the job done. And if that works functionally, then we don't have to worry about this, but I'll leave that there just for now. Meadow, hello, hello. Yeah, I know what you mean now with the T-shape. Like, if this didn't have this section, it was just 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, that would be cool. What I really want them to have, I know you can rotate these. Like, I know you can set them up vertically and stuff, but it would be nice if you could do that here in the just on its own interface. Like, I think it would be nice to be able to place this on the ground either like this or on its head, on its tips. But that's usually useful as well. Okay, well, let's complete the visual here. This actually just touches the edge. That, and then there's another one, and that goes right on that. And then this, all right, that doesn't work there. So yeah, I think I have to go the other way. For anybody wondering, it's 1 meter per tap of the arrow button, and Each segment is 8 meters, so you can very easily get yourself either 4 or 2, or like you know exactly how much you're nudging it. If you needed to go halfway, then you just use it 4 times, and that's halfway across the thing. I think what I did here was I rotated it sideways. Yeah. But that was covered up by something. Oh, there was only one of them. And you can barely see it. This would be more visual. I don't know that that's going to be noticeable. I think that looks pretty good. I think I do like the gray. I like the texture that it adds. I'll leave that there for now. All right, now we've got to figure out what's happening up here at the top. Do we want these to go into an angle like that, or do we want them to have their own like little platform edge thing? These ones don't touch it at all. So this is much more, not detailed, but there is some nuance to it. We could also try doing like a one of those. That might be too many of those. I prefer those on the bottom. Is there anything we could do from a parts standpoint? Like if I try to look at some of these parts and think about like what else could I use these for? That doesn't look all that good. It's the little bolts and stuff I don't like. I think I like a cleaner look. And that's staying there. But this distance is shorter because this is 2 tiles wide and this is, I think, 2.5. So 1, 2, yeah, 2.5. So over here we actually have to bump this forward. I think. I love how easy this is now. Whoops. Right, so that's gonna go there. Oop, it's the wrong button. And then back here, we'll have, I guess, another ledge. Difficult to place. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It might be something where we have to do a column here. Just to kind of give it that look. And then on the other side of it, we can change it a bit. I don't like that you can't attach these wall nodes to foundations. You can do it with signs now, but you can't do it with power nodes, which is annoying. You have to do that, but then it tends to hover, which is annoying. So we could use that to kind of keep these entrances kind of symmetrical. This does kind of stick out in a funny way. I don't think I want to add like a ramp to it. I feel like that might be too much. Yeah, not a fan of that. More of a brutalist look to do it this way. What if you push the wall away from the machines? I could do that too. I don't know how much room there is. Oh, there isn't very much. So I want to make sure there's a cavity wall here. I've got a funny feeling I'm going to need it later, so I'm going to leave it like that. And we do have opportunities down here. If that is the case there, then there would be another situation like this. Here. And that might work out okay, because then there's this other... Are you not gonna open for me? What's going on? So I've got this ramp that takes us to what will be motors and stators in here. I can temporarily put that in. And so having this start there and then having another one here actually looks good. That actually kind of frames that and makes sense. And then I just have to figure out how I'm going to center this decor. But I think that's probably the simplest solution. Rather than having all this stuff here, just have the smokestacks go right up into the roof. I think this was just a small little... Alright, I guess it has to go one there. One there, and then a sideways one here. The power is not going to go this way. This is just my temp power for hovering around and making stuff. It's a little bit slow going when you're designing it, but once you actually get it going, you just have to repeat this process wherever you're going to build one of these things. That looks okay. The other thing that we might be able to do is utilize this space here for like a control room, like a power room or something. Could do that as well. Thinking of the root space. You have 2 foundations width and the machines. It's on the 3rd half. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, I could turn those sideways too. Push the roof the other way. No, I've lined it up in the right spot. I'm going to put in a glass floor just for now so I've got something to stand on. Oh, I see what you mean. You mean push this the other way. But that has the same... does that have the same issue? Then it changes the shape of it. Right? I mean, what I might end up doing just to kind of make this look symmetrical is just bring this whole thing in, right? Narrow that down like that so that it has the same sort of vibe as this does. I think I like the asphalt there, so we could do the same thing there. Oh, I need more concrete? I do. Oh, thanks, Sandy. I appreciate it. And I mean, it's all good feedback. Like it's you know, when you're kind of spitballing ideas and kind of working through stuff, especially when you're, you know, where you're familiar with the game as well. It's always nice to have some input. Concrete. 1, 2, 3. Almost time for a break. So I might change the way that these ceiling tiles line up. I'm not really sure how that's going to go. But that kind of brings us in. If we come up here to roughly where the entrance is going to be. Yeah, I feel like having 3 of those would look pretty cool, right? I may end up lowering this. I might want to come in. I might want to be standing at this level rather than up here. I think you can see more, right? So this might end up being like a ramp that comes down when you come in. Something like that. obviously the hypertube's in the way. I think that might be cooler. And then we could have like railings and stuff along here. Like that. I saw some cool stuff in Construction's playthrough where he was using lights to light walkways. Or signs, rather. Oh, set the wrong color. Using stuff like that to actually light the path. Doesn't work right now without lumen on, but it does look really cool. You have to have signs everywhere, unfortunately. And that's what I was thinking too, is that we could use this space maybe between these rooms, right, to have this could be some control panels like for lighting and stuff like that. So we could do some, use this space here, or maybe even back here. There's space here too on either side. Less so over here, but there's definitely some room to have some sort of like utility space in here, you know? There's enough room to do something small here if I wanted to. This is all temporary transportation thing. So that's not bad. I do kind of like the depth that we get. Although it might not match. So it might be better to just do that as a solid wall. It would maybe make more sense if this was a solid wall and then the door was there. So if I put these in like this. And we could leave that up there, or we could bring this down and have like a small door frame over this. Not that I would make it like a triangle, but... Alright, speaking of that break, seeing as it's getting dark and harder to work down here. Oh yeah. That looks better. It's very clean and kind of boring. I would want to try to add something to it somehow. But for now, that looks pretty good. Yeah, I like the idea of having that lined up. I do quite like seeing that stuff down there. I want to try to avoid using too much glass, but we'll see. Anyway. I am going to take a short break. I do this once an hour for folks that are new on stream. If you're watching this later on Joel Duggan VODs on YouTube, thanks for checking it out. You can just fast forward through the next 6 minutes, and you'll never know the difference. But I need to go refresh the coffee, maybe even grab a small snack. You should too. Grab a friend. We'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes. Right on. Sorry again about the jerky transitions, folks. I don't know why, but the buttons on my Stream Deck are just... I have them programmed to do several things at once. You know, change the scene, stop the music, start the timer, stop the timer, run advertisements, all that kind of stuff. And they didn't do that. So I had to run the ads manually. So if you are seeing some ads, you probably can't hear me. Nope, that's not right. And of course, I find that when I play Satisfactory that my typing in other windows is just rough. It's really hard to do, like, multitask and pop back and forth to different things. Tony Hancock, if you can hear me, thanks very much for being here. Very cool that you ended up picking up Satisfactory because you watched me do a playthrough. That's fun. All right, picking up where we left off is, I like this design. So now we just have to do, I guess, a proof of concept. I need to figure out where all of the piping is going to happen for all of this. So that's going to go, that's going to go. And I guess that's where that's going to be. I don't know why they're in different locations vertically. Oh, that's the little one. Okay, that's fine. So that all looks pretty good. That's obviously... No, that has to be there. But this one does not. So the cool thing about this is going to give us a little cavity to work with. Not just Satisfactory, but the PC to play it on. That's amazing. What PC did you get? Because I'm looking at upgrading mine. That's a full block. That's a full block. What's the difference here? Oh, this could be full, I guess. I guess this could just be like a full... Both of these could be, I guess. So it's going to look a little bit strange, I guess, up here in the rafters. I don't know about the power going to there. I think I'd much rather have it go up here. Yeah, it weirdly wouldn't let me attach it over here, but it just let me do that there. That's weird. Not quite what I want. Yeah, that's going to be a pain. So let's not do that there. I guess we could maybe attach it up here. The question is, does that then work for this? It's only a slight difference. So we'll try attaching this to this machine. And you can't see. Okay, that's good. So that means that we can do probably this. And then go back to vertical. At least for now. So that is how the power will come in. And then these guys the best way to do this? Probably sealed this up, which I didn't mean to do. What is that? Unnecessary. Let's leave this open. So now I have to bring the pipes up. So really the pipes are just going to show up somewhere up here, and that's fine. What I need to decide is where we're bringing in these 3 pipes. Currently it's a 12700K, 1080 Ti. Does me well enough at 1080p. Right on. That's awesome. My wife has a lot to thank you for. All pre-loved stuff. In the space of 6 months, I have kept upgrading and now addicted to PC building and gaming. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mrs. Hancock. But if she's not looking, fist bump, Tony. That's great. So this is the edge of the room here. I'm going to build these up just because it's going to make it a lot easier to kind of visualize where the edge of the space is. And we can come in over the top here if we wanted to. The ceiling could be dropped down. We could also have exposed pipes coming across. That's fine too. In that case, these are already coming in here. And they should be full. And I just lost all power. Right there. It's annoying. Okay. Are these full? Yep. So it's coming in this space. That could be this space here. Or it could be in this space here. So here's where I've got to do a little bit more of a decision on how I want this to look when we walk in. I don't know if a 3-wide entrance is what I want. Is this Devastator board working? No, that's not working either. That's annoying. So if I open up, there we go. So some of the shapes that you see echoed throughout Devastator, there's a lot of, you don't have my mouse pointer on screen, but there's a lot of angles, like kind of 45-degree angles in his chest. There's a lot of angles in the Decepticon symbol. There is a lot of like square panel repetition, but then also like you can see on his legs, specifically the bulldozer leg, there's a lot of 45-degree angles and stuff like that. And one of the things I've been working with is that kind of like octagonal or a portion of an octagon sort of vibe. Hide that again. And sometimes it's not quite steep enough. Like we can try steeper walls. But then sometimes it starts to look like a barn, which is not my favorite either. think I've got an angled wall here. So we could have that, and then this could be wider. I think it might be time to move the hypertube. Let's put the hypertube down here. For now. Wall hole. I don't use this hypertube very much anyway. And I think it's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope. Guess not. Oh, there we go. Good enough. I'll get this out of the way, that out of the way. I feel like that's kind of cool. I did something similar down here. Could make that look better. Oh, boo! Hello, good to see you. Thanks for the lurk, Tony. Much appreciated. So yeah, we could have this just kind of come down. I won't do that just yet because that power node is there, but you'd be seeing that, kind of what you'd be looking at. So one of the options we have is we could run the pipes visually through here. Let's just do that. Maybe they'd be coming from here. 1, 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. So we'd go 1, 2, 3, 4. This. Whoa! Accidental hypertube would not be a satisfactory stream without an accidental hypertube. Two, 3, 4, 5. I'll just put these here for now. Oh, it's too long. Oh, wow. Was not expecting that. Oh, they're hypertubes are the longer ones. These are the same length as belts. That's right. So we could have visually those pipes there, and I think I like those. I think I like that idea. And then we'd have like a light or something up here showing that off. I think I'd rather see that. I think it's a nice break. I like that this echoes kind of what we've got going on here, which is cool. And then those would just turn the corner there. Yeah, I think I like the idea of having them outside. So we would leave that like that. Get rid of these. Oh, those are on the wrong level. We'd have to bring them down, I guess. Got a full foundation? Yeah. Unfortunately, the wall hole, I don't think you can place it on a foundation. No. So we do this instead. Well, I could probably just put the wall here. Then put the wall hole. And then delete the wall. That's good. Oh, I forgot to nudge them. Hopefully I can do that. It looks like they're only a ½ meter. Yep. That looks right. And I wouldn't want those to be... I don't think I'd want those to be any higher. Oops. No, I think that's fine. So then we would just bring those around the corner. And then back here, we would line these up. It's going to go straight down the middle. So that's in the right spot. I would just need to figure out where the first pipe is. So we'd have to line that up here and then break off. So it would be the left pipe would happen first. And so all we'd have to do for that is just have one. Actually, we'll probably keep them high. just so it's easy to walk around. I'm not sure why that's only standing in the middle. It's weird. Like it's not snapping to here, it's only snapping to the cross section. It's strange. SweetSandi, thank you for being awesome. I think that should work. So if I get rid of this temporarily. Just a little bit lower, but that's fine. And then now we have to find the first bit down here. So what we'll end up doing is we'll do this work before we fill in all the decorations. Yeah, see, it's not letting me connect to the top here. It's weird. I feel like that's connecting to the bottom. Visually, things are messed up. Oh no, that's going all right. Okay, so this is going to come up. Guess it doesn't really matter. What I should have done was delete just the small ones. So if I leave that one and delete these, then I should be able to see this floor hole. I think I'd rather have it be up here. I can't tell where that lands. I've created a couple different grids, so it's really hard to line things up. Not that this is going to be super important. The edge would make the most sense. Even if this isn't poker straight, it'll make it easier for us topside, but you know what? That's actually straight. And then all we would have to do is just split the pipe the once, right? They must connect to the middle of the floor hole and not to the end of the floor hole. And then this would be really straightforward. We would just bring this pipe along. See, I don't know why it's not snapping to the top of this. I guess it's because it's a ramp. Maybe that's what it is. That's probably why. So maybe the easiest thing to do, let's get into here. Oh no, it should be down this way. So that connects to there. And then... Nope. I was right the first time. I need... that to go there. This would go that way. This connects across like this. And then we stick a splitter here in the middle. And that should hopefully just be something we can cascade. So this pipe would do the next 3 machines, and this third pipe would do the last 3 machines. And that allows us to have all of this happening in the ceiling. So what I want to do now is I want to hook this up temporarily to water and see if the machines actually get water, specifically these two, because of that funky under the subfloor thing we did. That's actually an interesting look too. I never thought about not having the whole thing there. Like we could even have these go up here if we really wanted to. I mean, it shows the grate, but that's a look too. I think I prefer the other way, but still. I want to try to hook this up to water. So let's put this in here. And that has to be, that's right, that has to be a Mark II pipe. So they're not going to be clean and shiny and white. That's unfortunate. And that has to be Mark II all the way down. Oh, that's the other thing about doing this. This has to be a Mark II. I might have to visually change them both to Mark II, even though it's not necessary, because this has to have 400 in it. As long as I have a bottleneck up here, as long as this part stays Mark I, then I should be able to use this as a Mark II down below, where we can visually see it. Oh, autosave. I've been thinking about extending the autosave time, but I'm too worried about things crashing. I much preferred just the clean single pipe. So that's going to be one decision. This pipe over here that we were talking about, that's one advantage of that, is that we can keep these visually like this, which I kind of prefer. So we'll see how this works. We may have little choice in the matter. All right, let's bring the pipes in over here. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should work. It's annoying that those don't line up. Cool that they give us the ability to nudge it, but a little annoying. Adds an extra step. And I guess it would be this top one. And that's going to be up here. It is easy to do. You just have to kind of train your brain. And that's probably going to be easiest to bring straight across. Goes up a little bit. And it's this one on the far end. Goes in like that. And I guess for now, I'll switch them to indicator pipes. Somehow, she's not flowing. Oh, that's why. I do like the Mark 1 pipes better too. That's the kind of thing when the game finally comes out, I would like to I would like to have like alternate textures and things. Unlockable. So that's flowing. We don't have the bauxite hooked up yet. 300, 600. Those not hooked up. Oh, there's no power. They're not going to do anything other than receive the water. Still no power. Does this have power? Well, we're getting water. Oh, that stopped. Is there backflow maybe? No, that seems like it's a pretty good clip. I'd say that's working. So if we go all the way down under the ground like that, then it will work. The trade-off is that we have to use a Mark II pipe. Unfortunately, these are going to have to be Mark II. And the way that these things work, they come in wrong. I mean, I don't think I would do that anyway. I would probably... Yeah, that's not as nice looking. That's annoying. Well, you know, the other option is that we put 3 pipes there that are just for looks, you know? Where's the... I mean, we'd set it up so that those would show up in the middle. Yeah, I mean, maybe we just leave the pipes there to look cool, and then we run the real water back here. I mean, it probably would be easier. See, originally I was going to bring it in right there. And maybe that's what we need to do. And then we can just have these be straight decorative pipes. Unfortunately, these ones you have to make go at a right angle. Can't really curve them very well, I don't think. Oh, that's a pain. I guess we'd have to do the ceiling thing. Yeah. Usually what I do in this kind of situation is that. Might be better to do this on an angle as well. Yeah, I really prefer the look of that. So we'll bring the actual water in behind all of that. It's too bad, but I'd rather do it in a way that makes sense. What is that? They don't want to bring this up in a spot. Right. Okay, so it can't be here. It has to be back here. So all of these will end up being half foundations. Oh, those are off. Hold on. Why are these off by half? I don't think that is actually going to matter much. Yeah, hide the real water pipes in the roof. Yeah, that's the plan, I think, now. So then we can come up here and have these on the right level. There's so many hotkeys now to remember, I keep on pressing the wrong ones. So So that leaves this space here for the pipes. And they would probably have to be on the ceiling. The issue is that I got to remember that I've got these guys here are going to be coming up somewhere. Right now, I think I'm doing it in front of the machine. And this is actually not centered, so this would probably be more like here. So that's just enough room to bring in 3 pipes along this area here. And if we did that, then we'd be able to do it on the more natural snapping of the wall holes. I don't know why that's at that level. So that's probably going to be where that is. This, I think I was planning on this being a hole. So I've got to be careful that I leave this space here. So this is actually going to stop here. And that's going to be a space, which means those pipes are going to be visible. Crap. Yeah. Well, I guess we could maybe bring this down. Oops. Hey, there's Cosmic Dancer. How's it going? Oh, boo, I didn't realize you were on vacation. What are you doing here? No offense, but like, thank you for being here, but why are you in here on vacation if you're traveling? I guess, I mean, you gotta rest and recoup some point. I'm being a little self-depreciating here. Where are you on vacation? Did I miss that part? Right, so that would be there for now. Then this goes there. So this would actually stay here, like that. But then this space here is meant to be a hole, but it looks really funny on the end like that. I may have to figure out a different way to do that. Because these have to go up through the ceiling. That 100% has to happen. I feel like I might have to do the whole inside there and then somehow have them be symmetrical. And I don't know how I'm going to do that. I really wish we had half ramps. It'd make my life a lot easier. Because, yeah, that looks a little bit strange. So all of this has got to be pipes. As they travel, all these pipes travel to these machines. Actually, it only has to be one pipe. So the way that this works is that all of the water coming out of these scrap machines is going into these. But all we have to do is split this one machine, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 all go down this way to that. So we could bring this out and along the side here and leave all of this space here for potential belts. So I could have 3 belts. See, each machine is kicking out 360. 360? Yeah, 360. Obu says, I like you, Joel. I'm at the Grand Canyon. Very, very cool. Well, that's a fantastic part of the world. I was in Utah in 2017, and I was at Canyonlands, which is the other end of the Grand Canyon. Same river, Colorado River. But Grand Canyon obviously gets more attention. It's a lot easier to fly to the Grand Canyon with Vegas there too. But that's an amazing trip. I'm glad that you're enjoying some vacation and safe travels and all that kind of stuff. But yes, at some point you have to rest in the hotel. And I'm sure in the desert it's nice to take a break and all that stuff. Cosmic Dancer, thanks for the 100 bits. Blame Hunter, they started this penalty for being mean to yourself when I used to stream. It's now a community thing. Okay, that's fine. Cool guy, thanks very much. I'm not sure what you mean, but I'm hoping it's all going to come together. So I could, in theory, maybe we could take the belts up on the ends of each of these. So out here, I could have like these 3 belts. These could come across this way. And if I brought this out this way, I guess I could use more than that. So we go. What just happened there? I lost half of my hotbar. That was weird. I'm having some really strange bugs in the game lately. I don't remember what was on 5. Probably a lift. That would mean that this would have to be here. That's still plenty of room to split, I think. Keep on hitting the wrong hotkeys. It's really tough. So then these would have belts. So those three would come out here, and then one thing we could do would be to line them up here. And then take them up in the ceiling this way. Lost the light, time for a break. That's cool, but then, like, we don't have that happening everywhere, right? Like, it's just going to be that one, and that's not the center anymore. I wanted to come in and look at this, not come in and look at that. Although we could do that. Well, it puts it kind of close. Yeah, sun has gone down. Thanks, Sandy. Yeah, that's not my favorite. I mean, we'd do something cool with this and make it look proper and everything else. But, like, we could probably have that go up there. Does that get in the way of our water? No, so it wouldn't get in the way of the water. Or would it? Well, no, because if we did that, then we could have it all there. Yeah. Bring it to the middle of the room? Yeah. Yeah, we've got 9 of them that we have to get up top. The idea was to do it on each machine. Each one was going to have its own thing. I like the idea of having a nice clean hole like this, but it has its problems, right? Like, I mean, it goes through the machine and it's not always, it doesn't look very good. It's hard to integrate into the design. But yeah, we could put it here somewhere. Just take them back down this way and have 3 there and 3 there. But then what do you do with the other 3, right? Like, it's and 9 is not an easy number to move around. All right, anyway, I'm going to stick to these breaks just to make sure I can keep on streaming. So, folks, if you're new to the channel, as I think some of you may be, I take a break once an hour. And gives me a chance to refill my coffee and do a little bit of stretching and all that kind of stuff. You should too. Make sure you're giving yourself proper breaks. Fantastic. Sherlock Fox, good to see you. Fun to see some Satisfactory. Haven't seen the new updates. Very cool. Thanks for being here. We're going to keep streaming. It's only 5:30 my time. So, again, pardon the rough transition, folks. I'm going to try to reboot my Stream Deck in between the break, so maybe it'll start working. Ironically, it'll be the end of the stream anyway, but we will turn on the old self-driving, and I'll be back in 5 or 6 minutes. Why does it have no path? There we go. Hey, it worked. I had to restart the Stream Deck app. Thank you, Sandy. I really should move that track. Thanks, fantastic Sherlock Fox. Appreciate it. When in doubt, turn it off and on again. Yep. I just didn't want to do it like when I was actually live. And I also realized something I could do here. If this is not going to be the actual water, it's just going to be the decoration, then if there's going to be holes in front of these machines, then we should just bring the water along where there won't be a hole, which is right here. Right? We can just bring the water in this way and send it left and then right, as opposed to all coming in from one end. It's tidier if I did it that way, but it gives me more flexibility if it comes in. It can still come in here, like along here somewhere, and I can just rotate it this way, because these I don't know what we're doing with all of these. This is going to be concrete. So concrete is coming out, and that has to just go somewhere. Thankfully, this part is all very, very simple along here. This is actually, I'm not sure why I have that there. Well, that's for coal. This stuff here is all going to be pretty straightforward, I think. This will just be, I don't think we're going to use this. We're just going to go straight here. So what's nice about this is that this puts out 240 per minute, and this requires 240 per minute. So it's a straight across situation, which is nice. So that's easy. And then we're gonna do coal in the subfloor. I'll remove the glass later. So these hooked up is pretty straightforward. It's just now, if this is going to be a hole, to figure out how this is going to look. And these, I'm not sure where exactly to put these. We could, they do fit there. And then it's sneaky, but we can go underneath, around, and then back up again to make it look good. I need to get some power down here is what I need to do. Yeah, it's giving me, it gives me the power pole instead of the wall. But you can totally put these nodes on the side there, so it's not switching right. I find there's a lot of little things like that happening in the game that are really frustrating right now. SweetSandi, thanks ever so much for modding and for hanging out. Take care. Have a good night. Appreciate it. The subfloor. Yeah, the subfloor level 2. Construction was doing one of those on their playthrough as well. So I don't want to have that go that way and that go that way. I want to have them all happen correctly. And I think leaving that open is not a great option. I think that looks okay if we did the top part. Maybe it doesn't have to be that tall. This whole floor is going to get ripped out. This whole thing is changing. So this could rise. If I need more space, I could lower that or raise it or like do whatever I need. This is obviously not put together right either. I think that's how I did it. Yep. So that, to me, looks pretty cool. If we can get this other section sorted. So move these. And now I gotta go back and look to see how I did this other part. Those are centered in between the machines. And they come out past the thing. Okay. If I wasn't making this look pretty, this would be a lot faster. Too far. I think that's right. Yep, and then I just attach one to the side of it here. So that goes sideways like that, and then we get the other light, and that goes here. I was watching construction earlier today, going through his playthrough, and he's doing a lot of jumping, but he doesn't have a hover pack or a jetpack yet, and I don't miss those days of not being able to go up and just, you know, touch something and maneuver things around. So that does look a little bit strange, that connection right there. It's not my favorite. That means that's going to be off. So I'll grab that again. Get rid of all this. Don't know if I need to keep those, so I'll leave those there for now. That looks right. And then we just, same thing up here. Copy that, paste that. And then I think we just stick those in the end, right? Yeah, so it looks good over here. And actually, that's not the best. But it does not look good over here. What might be worth doing is changing the angle of that. And that does make it parallel with that. I guess I wouldn't mind it if it was up farther. You can't nudge things up and down yet, which is a little annoying. I prefer the cascading angles, but that's not a terrible idea. Because then it doesn't have that tangent there where the corners meet. Unfortunately, we still get these weird ends depending on which way you build it first and how it decides to render. So that's annoying. Could try to sync it maybe. It's a little easier to look at. I like it better than that. So that gives us that hole. I still don't know the best way to go about getting up there because, of course, having that centered doesn't work. If we decided to not do that and decided to bring the water in along here, then we'd have to figure it out. I mean, the other thing would be to not have this be a hole at all and instead make floor holes. So basically have this be flat, have it be something that comes down. Take one of these foundations at like the half mark and just do something with them. At the right level. I guess we could do this. I'd probably want to flip them around. I wish that wouldn't reverse things. Frustrating. So that just doesn't touch the power node on that. But I don't think that particularly looks very good. Are these the same size as a pillar? Roughly. That doesn't make a lot of sense. What if I made a bigger one, maybe? If it was at the right height, that might look okay. So if I brought this along here, just temporarily, and then we added obviously that doesn't go in there. I do find it a little bit tricky when you have to build stuff like this. Where does that have to go? Try that again. Oh, then I have to have this farther down, I guess. So it's not centered, but the idea would be to make it look like this thing is going up into another, let's be farther forward. I mean, I can mess around with the spacing on this, but... And if we close that up, I'd want to mess around with the spacing and the amount that it protrudes from the ceiling, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, alternatively, we could just do what we have here, which is just lower the ceiling down, put in a floor hole, and then back away. But then it feels very odd with the angle of the roof there. I mean, we could send things up through the middle, but I don't think I want something going through the middle of the floor. Right, like if I wanted to keep things really symmetrical, we could just straight up go from there on the seam. So it would be there. I don't think I want things like that running down the middle. It's not the end of the world. But I feel like, I don't know, maybe that isn't so bad. Could walk on either side of it. It would simplify a lot. I find sometimes you try to get more complicated or you try to do something fancy, and ultimately what you end up going back to is something that's really simple. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. It actually doesn't look that bad. And that means I could go back to the way that we had all of this set up. All the ceiling would remain the same. And if we wanted to make this a hole, then we absolutely could. We would just come in here with this somehow, somewhere. This is not snapping, which is really frustrating. Like, just how hard is it to just snap to the back of something? You should not have to build a wall there for that to work. So if I wanted it to be a hole, then we could just have this giant hole that's a nice solid block. Oh, wait a minute. We can't do that with the angle that that's at. Never mind. We'd have to do... Yeah, we'd have to... If we wanted to have a hole in the ceiling and not the actual pegs like that, if we wanted it to be like a clear shot up to the next floor, then we'd have to go with this angle. So which do we like better? Do we like the even edge here, or do we prefer the slightly wider angle? I know we've got some Z fighting with the textures, but do we even need this here? I don't need this here at all. You like the wider angle? Yeah, these two. 1 and 2 versus 3. Yeah, I like that too. I guess it just depends on whether I want to have a nice big gap up here. I mean, either way, I think we can go with we are running the aluminum scrap up the middle. I feel like that's the thing we're going to do. And so that would remove all of this stuff. And these would just be simple lifts. Little zigzag belt. And that would be it. This would stay right where it is, and that's fine, that works. So I think that would work. I guess what we should do is we should do what I often do in Minecraft, which is build two, one with a hole and one without, and see if we like one more than the other. Because we've got 3 exact copies, so we can do 3 different versions of whatever we want to do in the ceiling and kind of come up with whatever our next step is from a design perspective. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll finish... Oh, autosave. Yeah, I like those wider angles as well. Again, like I really wish we had smaller ramps. The ramps are just so big. I don't know how to get that angle. I mean, we could back it down. Hold on now. So, place a bunch of these. So I want the edge of this to stop there. So why did that... Okay, I think I've got it. So that is the right angle, right? That's the same. Yes. And then it stops there, but it continues there. Does that happen over here? No, because I've got... What is Oh, right, because that the base of that connects with the top of that. So I can do it, but then we end up with an issue there. Yeah, I knew there was a reason why I didn't have it just be nice, like flat like that. Yeah, I would really like half ramps. 4-meter ramps would be very useful. And this is going to be interesting because this is 5 wide instead of 3. So this is probably going to continue the whole way. feel like I have to delete some of these. We're getting close to needing to delete a lot of the stuff up on this top floor. Alright, so then this would be this angle. So this would have to be a different size. And it flips them again. Grr. So annoying. I guess one advantage is that we could leave the gap the whole way rather than closing it. Well, I guess no, we could do that too. Just do like a half thing. Alright, so that would be the shape of the roof hole. Oh, and then this would go to there. And then that would go away again. So you'd see the same angle there. So I just have to figure out what to do about that, if anything. I mean, maybe it's just a matter of nudging this forward. You know, like maybe what we need to do is, instead of putting that there, and one, we're going to have that there's that little bit of Z fighting on the end there. Maybe the thing to do here is just to add this in this space. How do I get that in there? I love that you can nudge these things around. I mean, it gets around it. I don't know that it necessarily looks good. I mean, maybe this whole thing just needs to be square. And then if it's square, we could lower it. Like I could change this to a different height. Yeah, the nudge feature is fantastic. It's very, very cool creatively. I mean, in a way, it almost opens up too many options. As you can see, like I've spent the entire stream down here noodling around with stuff. I mean, all in the effort of making things look good, but I don't mind that, and it's going to be so dark down here that it may not be a big deal. So the option is that it looks like this, right? Which is, I think, pretty cool. This is a much simpler top. You know, the indent is not bad. This is all square down here. I guess there are angles down here that help. Maybe I could use walls to hide that. Yes. Not really. Plus, I'm not sure I'd want another white stripe up there. I kind of like the fact that we've got it down low. Yeah, that feels a little bit noisy. I definitely lean into the 70-30 rule when I'm designing things. Like, I kind of want the top 70% of this corridor to be pretty plain, and then the bottom 30% you can see has a lot more going on. And it's a lot easier to look at in that way. But I wish there was a way. Well, what if we just took this the whole length? What if we got rid of that? And I guess we wouldn't need these. Is that a happy medium? You know, I think I like that even better. That gets us our angle. Tubbo, welcome back. I think that might be the solution. I think that works. That works pretty well. And then we can either have a giant gap or not. And just kind of go with whatever we want. I think that has to be a 2-meter foundation. Right. So that's probably what we'll do. And that keeps these consistent as well. Okay, so that means that there's potentially going to be a giant gap right here. And that means that on top of these, there's going to be that. And so then to bring the water in, it will change the space available. And then why do I need these here? I guess I don't. Right, so that opens that up a bit, which is good. Okay. So that means that this space here is back and available. Which means we can bring the water down this section here. Well, I guess this should be going up. I'm not sure how high this is going to go. I feel like the floor, I don't want to make it too far away. But at some point we're going to have to figure out where the floor is going to be above and whether we're going to need a subfloor for the second story and all that stuff. But just for argument's sake, let's say that that's there. So it looks like the way to bring the water along is going to be probably vertically. Which means I might hide it in the ceiling. Means we don't have to crisscross them. They'll stay probably in this vertical position. And I can just run them right. I guess they have to be a little bit higher. You know what? Still, it might be better to just run the water down the middle. Down here. In this space. Yeah, this 2-block area here is probably the better spot to bring the water. It can still come in the room here. We can then just run it in the way that we want. I feel like that was probably high enough. I should complete the ceiling on this side. That's going to come down. And then this connected directly to that, I think. Oh, whoops. Nope. How did I do that? Goes in. That wasn't right. I really don't like the way that ramps connect to one another or don't connect to one another. It doesn't make any sense. I can't snap this to the back. You have to build like 3 things. Or 4 things just to get one piece in place. So this is a bit of a weird spot in that it just kind of goes straight up into the side. I'm okay with it. I don't think it's going to be a really big deal. I don't want to widen this just in case I want to keep this road. I can always extend it and design another archway later, but I don't think we need it because there's no other machines. If I had my way, actually, this is what, 1.5? This would be a nice way to actually handle this one. Because again, we don't need this space on the left. The only thing I wanted to do here is that I do want to have that exposed. So I could do 1.5 and have the wall here, just like the other side, if that's what we decide to do. It would give us a little bit more room, but between the walls, I mean. So that all works out. This would just come straight along like this. I guess I technically don't need this. Just that you can sometimes see between them. That looks fine. Okay. Now these guys will not get any kind of pipe decoration, so here we've got functional pipes coming down, and we don't have that. We could just put them in decorative, you know, so that could work too. Gone is the mod with all the nice helpful comments. Only one with unhelpful and sarcastic comments. Tabo, thanks for coming back and tuning in after your schooling. That's great. I really appreciate it. All right, back to copying this over. So those are back there, and they are 1, 2, 3, and they are not centered. These parts are centered in between the machines. So goes this way. I think it was 2. One, 2, and then the top one comes way out and nearly covers up that light. Five? Nope, too far. Is that where I put it? Right, it sticks out. And it goes through just behind those two little rivets. Yep, that's right. I don't remember doing that in a half step, but here we are. This just goes up to the ceiling. And so that has a weird little mirrored effect. Don't know if I like that. I can't believe it's been another hour. If you were to move to nuclear power in Satisfactory, you built a new power plant. Which transformer do you think you would name it after? Ooh, that's a tough one. Maybe Unicron? Or... I can't think of... Omega Supreme would be a good one, but that's an Autobot, not a Decepticon. There's not many more powerful Decepticons than Megatron. Galvatron, maybe, but that's... I mean, that's just Megatron reincarnated. But... yeah. So I don't love that. We may have to change the style of the hole in the ceiling. Triptychon. That's a good one. Was Triptychon the scorpion? If I remember correctly. It's been a really long time. Yep, I mean, that's the design. I mean, obviously I've got those other pipes in there when I don't need them to be. Yep, and then we just come in here with... Sun's getting real low. Yeah, I need to wrap things up soon here. But because we're so close to getting this looking good... It's just really slow going back and forth. That's on the middle, and that's on the break. And this is on the break. And that weirdly has a gap. I think I put that too far back. Yeah, I did. Where do those go? The Decepticon City Bot, opposite of Metroplex. Okay, so Metroplex is the other save that I have. So, cuts and touches... the C and the fix-it. Let's see if I have this in the right spot. Nope, that's too far forward. I guess I did really small increments. I somehow just am off. Are these not in the right spot? No, they're centered. That's good. I'm glad that that's not wrong. And then for decoration, we could just use floor holes again, I guess. Maybe we make this different color. What was the name of the scorpion from the Decepticons? Oh, autosave. I should really replay those Transformers Cybertron Xbox games. They were really well done. I thought the secondary color was supposed to be... I thought the secondary color was supposed to be the color of the pipe segments things. I guess they changed that? So we could do something like that. And then of course we need the light. Sorry of all the flashing. Going with white for now just because we are making aluminum. Aluminum scrap. So I'll have to fix that. I'll probably do that in between streams. I guess I like this section. We've not done this across from that yet. Is a little bit strange. I wonder if I was to push this back again. Try this down here. That's centered there, and then goes in the middle of the sea, which means it's actually there. don't think that's right. Nope. I don't know if they're the same, you know? I think there's something screwy with the placement over here. Scorponok is the name of one of the Transformers, but he was a Predacon, I thought. Oh, it does cut off the C, okay. Right, well that's correct then. So what I wanted to test over here was coming up to this level. But then here, what if this went back again? Not sure how deep that is there. That looks like it's 2 meters. And that's a lot longer than 2 meters. So maybe one more half step farther. Trying to get the same angle. That looks about right. Oh, there's like 5 of these, right? I forgot about that. That's one way to do it, up to there. And then the other way would be with that. Oh, that step back looks terrible. That's a bad idea. Never mind. I had to test it, but it is, that's a no. So that will just continue on down. And then we'll fill this in with a little single wide. So I guess the thing to do here might be to actually continue this. I feel like that makes the most sense. Getting further into Transformers lore, and I would like your Transformers wiki lists him as a Decepticon Headmaster Titan from Gen 1, but also a Predacon from Beast Wars. I think the idea, Cosmic, is that the Predacon from Beast Wars had a giant ego, and he named himself after the Decepticon Titan. I think the Decepticon Titan is the one that I'm thinking of. I just don't think that... I think I'm getting Scorponok and Trypticon confused. I think Trypticon might have looked like Scorponok. I'd have to look it up. Wait a minute, Trypticon is the dinosaur looking thing. Yeah. Okay. And then Scorponok Gen 1 is just this giant. Yeah, okay. I think Scorponok was the Decepticon answer to Omega Supreme. And Trypticon was the Decepticon answer to Metroplex, as Fantastic Sherlock Fox pointed out. All right, how are we doing for looks here? Each corridor is going to have its own sort of vibe. I don't know if we're keeping that. Even though it's making concrete, I might end up making all of the machines the same color. And we've got Fortress Maximus to round out the Titans. Fortress Maximus, was he an Autobot as well? Alright, so we have to do this little switcheroo here. This just continues all the way down. That's a slightly easier way to do it. Now that is just a solid ceiling. So we can totally just place something. I guess we just do like a half foundation. That should fill in those gaps. That looks pretty tight. I like it. And then those get removed. These get removed. And these get strung down. And I think that that provides a slightly better way to do the power as well. Although, wait a minute, that might... Yeah, it still might be a little bit tricky. It's probably going to be better to power them. Rather than having a cable coming down, it's probably going to be better to do a cable for each machine. We'll see. I'm going to wait to do the power until we figure out what we're doing for lighting. Because the lighting could be interesting. So that is what we want, right? Yes. Okay. Just have to ditch that. And then we have to pull this down. Nope, that's wrong. This one. And that just stops there. but then that continues along. So it's probably going to make more sense to have this dip down here. And then I guess this continues along. It's kind of a weird dip in the ceiling, but I'm okay with it, I guess. I was anticipating this to have little sections, but because this side goes down, I guess we could just, well, no, I don't want to drop the ceiling there either. Because otherwise this is just going to be, well, we could put a half wall here. I am not finishing my sentences. I apologize. That could be just like a drop thing. Oh, that's wrong. Right. That makes sense. Again, these things just don't let you snap to the back of foundations. It's really a pain. The back of foundation ramps, I should say. That's what I was looking to do. So it looks a little bit strange. Then this will be flat along here. And then we've got to drop those down too. Oh wait, did that change? Yeah. I think that changed a little bit. Fortress Maximus was a Autobot. Yeah, I remember that. It's been a really long time. A really long time. Alright, well, I think I have sorted out all of the design things I need to do. The only thing left logistically is where the concrete is going to go and how we're going to get the water inside. I feel like this space could be used for water, but I don't know where the ceiling is. So like I have enough room here, but I'm not sure if that's where I want it to run. That is actually the edge there. So again, a better spot to run the water is probably going to be this location here. So what's more than likely going to happen is this will come along this way. And then this space here will be where we run the water. The water will probably come in. It will not be there. Those are just going to be decorative, I think. Although, if they're on both sides, that's going to be a problem. Yeah. This might have to be ceiling. So yeah, the water will come in. I mean, maybe we could have the water come in there. Some of these are off, and I don't know why. That should not be. Oh, these are all off. Whoops, I completely messed that up. There's a giant hole right there. Cool that you can do that now with the nudging and stuff, but like I really, that's a mistake. That has to get fixed. Yeah, so I would imagine the water is actually going to come across here, take a right, go down this way, and then split off here. And really, we don't need to bring all 3 pipes that way. We could bring 2 and then have the 3rd pipe go down farther here and snake around. Because I'm going to be designing all this. Something that I've absolutely learned and will hopefully bestow upon you is like give yourself an absolute metric crap ton of room if you want to do something like this in Satisfactory, but also have it look cool. Like if you want to be able to design these things and leaving spaces between your machines, giving yourself really an ample subfloor and an ample ceiling room. This comes in so much handy later to do all the wiring so you don't see it at all. I don't necessarily need it to be 8 meters tall, but at least, you know, at least giving yourself a crawl space, you know, like this. Like if this was the space we had, this would be fine, you know? Enough to move around and look around and see what's up and all that. It's very, very handy. These don't need to be as high as they are. Like we could have them lower. But the proof of concept works, dropping the water in from the top. It does get down to the machines, even if it does go down through the floor and come back up. So that is something that we can do as well. I think I'm going to switch back to the regular white pipes. I think I like that look better. And so that means we'll have to hide the 3rd pipe somewhere. It feels a little bit cheaty, but you know, I think I'm all right with it. We could just leave it like this. We could run it down the middle here just to kind of give something for that. So we could leave that in the middle. That could be something that's part of the whole deal. I don't know. I don't mind it. I do like trying to at least make the factory look functional rather than just hiding everything. I like to see some things moving along. So again, we'll probably have some glass floors or just have it be wide open here with the railings. Something like that. I think that's kind of fun. And we might be able to do some lighting and all that different stuff. But coming together, I think now it's about doing the legwork rather than all the planning and testing and nudging and trying to see how things look. I think I've slowly come to terms with these. And it will add some movement, which I think will be cool. So, right on. Let's take a look and see who might be streaming live. I can pass you along to somebody playing Satisfactory, I hope. If not, I will choose probably somebody playing Minecraft, just that tends to be where my audience likes to go. Don't see anybody playing Satisfactory that I know. But I do see Tadpole Milk. And they are doing their single-player survival world. So I will send you there. Folks, thank you ever so much for hanging out. Sandy and Cosmic, thanks for the moderating. And to everyone that supported with bits or a sub today, I truly appreciate it. Make sure you check out the latest episode of the Spawn Chunks. That's out on your favorite podcast app right now. You can also get it at thespawnchunks.com. Do check out the other things that I do, like the CitadelCafe.com and patreon.com/JoelDuggan. It's one of the best ways to support me as a streamer or any of your other favorite streamers. They probably have one too. So check it out. Less than 1 cup of coffee per month gives you access to my Discord and supports me as a streamer. I truly appreciate it. And I don't know when I'm going to stream next. The next Satisfactory scheduled stream is Thursday. I hope to stream tomorrow, but I have a lot of work that I have to get done too. So we will see. But I appreciate all of you being here. Thank you ever so much. Bye for now.